And joining me with reaction to this late-breaking deal, former Clinton advisor Dick Morris. Dick, good to see you.
Good to see you, Sean. You know, to characterize this as a deal is like that famous deal that Emperor Hirohito struck with MacArthur on the battleship Missouri. This is a surrender. This is absolutely Obama caving in. And the Republicans had to extend unemployment benefits anyway, because you're not going to give the tax cut and at the same time cut off unemployment benefits. But this shows that Obama will blink. And it's the first of the trifecta of confrontations. This one, the next one will be state bankruptcies when we're called on to bail out, and then the enchilada, which will be defunding Obamacare, a balanced budget plan, and blocking the EPA from cap and trade. Those are all going to be the three fights of the year, and it is terribly significant that Barack Obama caved in.
Well, apparently Democrats are furious, and Democrats, by the way, senior House Democratic aides are saying, hang on, House Democrats have not agreed to anything yet. So this deal's not quite done yet. Do you think they'll push back enough to stop it?
Yeah, Obama has done something really interesting. He's now going to the caucuses in the House and the Senate. That means he's got to win a majority of the Democrats to have at the caucus position. What Clinton did was he would say, hey, the heck with the caucus. I've got 45 Republican votes, or in this case 47. Let me find 4 Democrats who'll join with me and we'll pass the thing. He could easily do that. But it is possible that the caucuses turn him down. So you have the beginnings. Really, if you were to date what was the beginning of the momentum for a Democratic primary against Barack Obama, it would really be tonight.
All right, but they had their show votes over the weekend and late last week in the House and the Senate. In other words, so they got themselves on record saying Republicans want tax cuts for the wealthy. They used all their class warfare rhetoric over the weekend here. So the show votes are over. So they don't really have much of a choice here, and that is, they either raise taxes on every American, and every American is going to be furious, and every business is going to be furious.
Yeah, but if I were a liberal Democrat in that caucus, I would feel safe in voting to reject the deal, because if the lame duck Congress doesn't adopt it, the January 2nd, the new Republican Congress will do it. And it's kind of a free vote for them. And I think they may do that as a demonstration of anger against Obama. But, you know, I'm more concerned, Sean, about what's happening on our side of the fence. The reason Obama caved in was because 42 Republicans held firm. Snow and Collins and all of the lame ducks all held firm and refused to go along with treating people over and under 250 differently, which was fantastic and an amazing sign of unity. But at the same time, I was really scared by 2 huge defections. Tom Coburn, conservative allegedly from Oklahoma, and Mike Crapo, allegedly a conservative from Indiana. Both of those guys, who were reelected 4 weeks ago and did not mention to any of their voters that they were going to raise taxes, have gone along with the $1 trillion of tax hikes in the Bowles-Simpson plan.
And Debt Commission.
This is kind of the first breach in the wall. The Debt Commission. And I think that this is horrible. On dickmorris.com, I have the contact information for both senators, their district offices and their Washington office. And I urge people over the next week, not just tomorrow, all week long, call them, write them, bombard them. If 2 staunch conservatives like Coburn and Carpo can try to flim-flam us by getting reelected on November 2nd, and then on December 2nd coming out and voting for a $1 trillion tax increase they forgot to mention during the campaign, then what is the point of elections? And these guys are not up until 2016.
All right, let me go back to the Democrats and the anger on the left. Frank Rich actually went as far as suggesting in the New York Times, hardly a member of the vast right-wing conspiracy, that the president is suffering from the Stockholm Syndrome, and this is President Obama's latest and perhaps most humiliating attempt to placate his Republican captors in Washington, D.C. What's your reaction?
Well, the Republicans have him over a barrel. Not only do they control the House in the next Congress, but, Sean, they control the Senate, too. Because while we lost control of the Senate, the vote on extending the Bush tax cut showed that we have control of the Senate. because Manchin from West Virginia,
There were eight
Webb from
Democrats.
Virginia. Well, yeah, but the key ones are Manchin, Webb, and Nelson, and of course Lieberman. You have 4 conservative Democrats who voted with the Republicans. Now, when you have 58 Democrats, you can afford that. But when you next Congress, you only have 53. And if you lose 4 of them, you're going to lose the vote.
What about a potential filibuster on their part, though?
Well, it would be strange to have the majority filibustering, but you could always have that. But the important point here is that these Democrats are saying, look, why should I stick my neck out when I have to run in 2 years? I'm going to vote for these bills the Republicans are putting up and let Obama veto it. I'm not going to shield him. And it really means that effectively the Senate is a paper tiger. This is not going to be a fight between the House and the Senate. Those conservative Democrats are so scared by all the dead bodies walking around Washington in the lame duck session that they're saying, I see the handwriting on the wall. I'm going to vote like a good Republican.
Are you really convinced, you mentioned of the 3 big battles that are starting in January, are you really convinced that the House Republicans have the ability to defund Obamacare and stop it in its tracks?
Yes.
You do?
We absolutely do. They'll pass a defunder bill and he'll veto it and won't override. But then he needs a budget, and he needs the House approval of a budget. And in that budget, you put all of the issues of 09 and 10. You defund Obamacare, you stop the EPA from regulating carbon, you stop the NLRB from going with card check, you stop any of the Senate earmarks from being passed, you block any tax increases. He vetoes the budget. The Republicans stand firm. A shutdown, but this time we win.
All right, Dick Morris, good to see you. Thanks for being with us.